Hello all, it's Ben here at Stafford Station End Gorge again. So on this one I've completed the overhead line equipment OHLE. So continuing from the OHLE from stationary at Lichfield, I've completed this area. Just give you an overview. I tried to get the variations from the prototype, like this one here, which is an electric line carrier, and then there's the this type of here as well, which is different from the standard type there. Just give you an overview on that side. Yeah, quite pleased with it. So what I'll do is I'll do my usual, go through the build. Thanks. So I'm just marking out the positions of the OHLE I'm going to do. Just cut some strips of paper up, just roughly get an idea of where they're going. Off type, mostly they're going to be the typical early type, the modernisation type here, which is this, but there'll be a couple that will have the I-beam type there, and there is a bit at the end where it doesn't go all across all 4 tracks, it stops there, and then there's a standalone one there. And then there's another one that's quite long, so I've got 2 I-beam types, and then the standard, and then that's the long one, and then that's the split one there, just to break it up a bit actually, as well as, you know, being like the prototype, I just want to keep it interesting. I don't want all the same type of catenary. Yeah, so that's what's gonna happen next. So starting now on making this catenary. For the standard catenary, I've still got some of this end brass 4-track stuff for the 1955 modernisation plan stuff. So, but mine will be 5 tracks, so I'll have to extend these. I'll have to split them. I've got some additional pieces which I can use as the ends, so I'm going to have to extend these a bit by about 1 triangle. These are quite easy to make. They come in, well, you can't get them anymore, but the ones I've got, you can basically form them over a former, so you bend these over. In the picture I've got this type as well, which I've already done before, so now to make. So this is on the Lichfield side here. So we've got 3D printed parts, and I've got I-beams going across with the struts on. The ones at this side of the layout though don't have the centre beam, so I might not have that on. So in order to make those, see that? I use a bit of 2mm I-beam, and then I'll just face the inside with some plasticard in order for me to glue these plasticard 5mm struts on. So I'll get those on and then put the other side on. And I've got the 3D printed legs done, which is the same file I did for the other one I showed you. So get that on. Just having a go at 3D printing this leg of this portal, which has this interesting 3-leg design here, based on this one here. I think this portal is just used for carrying cables over the line because I can't see any registration arms. So I'm just trying to emulate the detailing on it, so the various detailing on the top and stuff, insulators, etc. So I've got some catenary done. Got this one type completed. 3D printed the legs, and I've got the rods on to place into the board. Also got the standard 1955 modernisation plan type stuff, which I've had to extend. See there, you can only see it's like a cutaway there, so I've got 2 pieces put together with an L strip here, 1mm L profile strip on the bottom, just to hold it in place, and then 3D printed the legs. As you can see in the corner, I've had a go at doing this unusual one here, which I just showed in the last segment where I was doing the Tinkercad. So I got the Tinkercad done, and then for the struts I've kind of decided to use bits of plasticard strip. It's just so delicate 3D printing that kind of open girder structure, so for those bits I've 3D printed, and then I've just put them on top of I put the brass on top of it, and then I've just done a standard leg on the other side. Yeah, quite interesting, just doing a bit of a different style of catenary. Now I can't get any more of the end brass portals, and I've used up the ones I already had. I'm going to have to now just 3D print my own portals. So this is the one I'm doing from the prototype, that big one that goes across most of the tracks there. So it's roughly 18 centimetres. So I've got some of these bits of the end brass portals, and I'm just measuring them up just to get an idea of the proportions. Just trying to get the end bits there done. So do that in 2 halves, and then I'll do the legs separately. Right, I've got these 3D printed ones in. Got the quite big one, and the 3-track span one, and the single span one. So they're all 3D printed, no end brass. I've reinforced the legs with some L profile, brass L profile. Just give you a view down there. So I'm just gluing the registration arms onto the portals now. You might have seen some of my previous OHLE videos. I use a little tool as a spacer just so I can, when I super glue the top, it doesn't just fall off. I've also marked up the positioning as well, so it's roughly 26mm between the centre of each track. In this case I've got 4 tracks. So I've got another one to do here as well. This one uses the straight top variant, and I've got that one, but there's also this angled top variant here. I've got left and right handed on each because there's a notch on the back of them, so I've had to hand them. This is one I've done earlier. So according to the pictures, there's different configurations, so it sort of mixes it up a bit really. These strut type ones, I've had to do the arm slightly differently. Just give you a close up of that one. Had to create little ledges for them to sit on, and then I've done some extra detailing on these ends as well. So I've got two of those. I think just 3D printing some of the insulators on the ends here I thought it was worth doing, but they are extremely fragile. Those little tiny two insulators on the bottom there I'm probably going to end up knocking off. I mean, I did knock them off actually when I was gluing them even, so I had to glue them back on. With the moment I'll just have to do for the moment. So I've got all the registration arms on. Just give you an overview. Haven't done this one. I think the function of this is to just simply carry wires over the track. It's got some cabling on it, so that's to do still. Do the rest. Yeah, tried to map the directions of the prototype, but due to sort of space constraints I haven't actually mapped the directions of these, you know, left or right exactly. As I'm doing the Lichfield OHLE, I thought I'd repair some of the Stafford Junction OHLE. We've had instances where the registration arms have fallen off, an example being this one. So I'll reattach some registration arms. I've actually already pulled the stub of this one off. Another one being that one. Yeah, so I get those fixed up. So I just thought I'd have a go at doing this particular gantry. It's got this particular quirk on it, which has this Y going over the top with these holders. So I'll just give you a view of that. So to get the idea of the height, I've used the height of the gantry in relation to the total height of this based on the photo, and I've come up with 14mm high and 6mm width. So you've got 6 on this side, 3 on the other. So I've used 0.5mm wire, and I've used Plastruct for the tops. Just thought it was worth doing. It's quite interesting. Feature is different, something different, and I always think you know, not always having the same style of gantry on a layout was good, and the prototypes offered me this opportunity to have a go at this, so I thought I would. Just having a look at that one in situ. So I've painted up the OHLE using Humbrol 64 and 147 greys. Just give you an overview again. So that's mainly Lichfield done. I mean, there's obviously it's always something to do. There's the lighting, and there's some signalling, and there's some lights, platform lighting to do as well. But what I'm going to focus on next is over there in the corner, Stafford Station. I'm going to do a bit of an upgrade program. I will explain it in that video. Another thing I'm going to do is try and improve the lighting in that part of the garage. I actually want to paint the ceiling white, because you can see on the ceiling on here, the white does really help with the lighting, and it is quite dark over there, so the aim is to just paint the rafters there white. That's one of the jobs, but overall I want to do some work on Stafford Station. I want to extend the kind of width, and I'm going to build another building there in the corner and do the flats as well. So thanks for watching again, and I'll see you on that one. Cheers.